I'll just go through some examples. We've got 8x minus 9y all over 3 equals 8. And when something's divided completely on one side, we can slide and rise that 3, multiplying both sides by 3, and we end up with 8x minus 9y is equal to 3 lots of 8. And then we would tidy it up to be 8x minus 9y is 24. And now we've got two terms on the left added or subtracted, so we can move the minus 9y to the other side. We change the side, change the sign, leaves us with 8x, and it's 8x equals 24, and it becomes plus 9y. And now divide both sides by 8 with swapping and dropping the 8. And that gives us x equals 24 plus 9y all over 8. And then 3y plus 7x equals 2. We've got adding and subtracting, so we can move the 3y to the other side with change the side, change the sign, leaving 7x on its own. And 7x equals 2, and it'll be minus 3y. So we've subtracted 3y from both sides. And now divide both sides by 7 with swap and drop for the 7. We'll be left with x equals 2 minus 3y all over 7. Or we could write it as x equals minus 3y plus 2 over 7. They're both correct. And then y equals 9x minus 4 over 4. Well, when something's completely divided, you can multiply both sides by it, so slide and rise the 4. It becomes 4y equals 9x minus 4. And because we've got plus or minus on one side, we can move it. The minus 4 to the other side becomes plus 4. Change the side, change the sign of the minus 4. So we end up with 4y plus 4 equals 9x. Then divide both sides by 9 eventually, but we could have written this as 4 plus 4y equals 9x. They're both right. But to get x when we have 9x, we need to divide both sides by 9 or swap and drop the 9. We end up with 4y plus 4 over 9 is equal to x. Or we could have written it as x is equal to 4 plus 4y over 9. They're both correct. You can use either. So if you want x on the left-hand side, which doesn't matter, you could write x on the left-hand side instead. All of these are correct. And then if we have y is x over 4 minus 5, well, we've got a plus or minus, so we can move the minus 5 to the other side, to the left-hand side, with change the side, change the sign, so it gives us y plus 5 is x over 4. And then multiply both sides by 4, but we have to multiply all of the left-hand side by 4, not just the y. So we have 4 times y plus 5 in a bracket is x, and then we multiply out the bracket. This gives us 4 times y plus 4 times 5, which is 20, equals x. Or we could put x equals 4y plus 20. Same thing. We checked our answer there. Next we've got y equals x over 6 plus 9. So we can take the plus 9, move it to the other side, becomes minus 9. We change the side, change the sign. So we've got y minus 9 is x over 6. And now we can multiply both sides by 6, but we have to multiply the 9 by 6 and the y by 6. Well, it's minus 9. So it's 6 lots of y minus 9 equals x. So that's 6 lots of y, and 6 lots of minus 9, which is 6y minus 54 equals x. Or we could put x equals 6y minus 54. They're all correct. Or we could put x equals minus 54 plus 6y. It's the same thing. Just check our answer and we got it right. Next we've got 4x plus 9y over 7 equals 7. The big clue, when a whole side is divided, you can slide and rise the thing it's divided by. So we've got the left hand side all over 7. So we take the 7 and we slide and rise and multiply by it, which gives us 4x plus 9y is 7 times 7, which is 49. Now we've got 4x plus 9y, so we can subtract 9y from both sides. We change the side, change the sign, and we end up with 4x on its own on the left is 49 minus 9y. Or you could put 4x is minus 9y plus 49. They're both right. But we have to divide both sides by 4 by swapping and dropping the 4. It doesn't matter which of these equations you use, they're both right. But we do need to divide both sides by 4 with swap and drop for the 4. It gives us x is equal to 49 minus 9y all over 4. And that's right. Next we've got y equals 8x plus 3 all over 8. So when it's all over something, multiply both sides by that. So slide and rise the 8. We end up with 8y equals 8x plus 3. Now to get the x term on its own, subtract 3 from both sides by changing the side and changing the sign of the 3. So we end up with 8y minus 3 instead of plus 3 is 8x. Now we swap and drop the 8, we divide both sides by 8, which gives us 8y minus 3 all over 8 equals x, which is correct. Or you could put x on the left hand side. That's right too. Check our answer, we got it right. Then we've got 8y minus 8x is 8. So because it's plus or minus, we can take the 8y to the other side. It leaves us with minus 8x equals 8 minus 8y. And then we just need to swap and drop, divide both sides by minus 8. Because it gives us x is 8 minus 8y all over minus 8. It doesn't matter if the thing we're dividing by is negative. And this is just another way of writing it. They're both correct. Check our answer there. Pick up a bit of speed as we're going along. Y equals 5x minus 5. So change the minus 5 to plus 5, put it on the other side, and then divide both sides by 5. So we swap and drop the 5. It gives us y plus 5 all over 5 equals x, which is our answer. Or you could put it as x equals y plus 5 over 5. That's correct as well. Next one is y equals x over 7 minus 9. You've got something added or subtracted, so we can take the minus 9, change the side, change the sign. It becomes plus 9 plus y is x over 7. So now we slide and rise the 7, multiply the left hand side by 7, so 7 lots of 9 plus y equals x. Multiply out the bracket, 7 9s is 63. 7 y's is 7y, and that equals x. And that's correct, so we've got x on its own. It's the same as writing x equals 7y plus 63. We've got 6y plus 8x is 6. So we've got adding or subtracting, so we can change the side, change the sign of the 6y to get 8x on its own. So 8x is 6 minus 6y, and then divide both sides by 8 with a swap and drop of the 8. Gives us x is 6 minus 6y over 8. That's the same as saying x is equal to minus 6y plus 6 over 8. They're both right. Six x minus 9y over 9 is 2. Multiply both sides by 9. So slide and rise that bottom 9. Gives us 6x minus 9y is 2 times 9, which is 18. Now to get 6x on its own, we move the minus 9 to the other side, minus 9y, sorry, gives us 6x equals 18 plus 9y. Or you could write it as 6x equals 9y plus 18. They're the same thing. You can use either. Then we divide both sides by 6 to get what x is. I nearly forgot to finish. X is 18 plus 9y all over 6. Because we did a swap and drop of the 6. Y equals 5x minus 2. We'll add 2 to both sides. So take the minus 2 to the left. Make it plus 2. We've got plus 2 plus y is 5x. Or you could write it as 2 plus y is 5x. Or you could write it as y plus 2 is 5x. They're all the same. Then divide both sides by 5 with swap and drop of the 5 to get x on its own. Y plus 2 over 5 equals x. Or x equals y plus 2 over 5 if you want x on the left. And these are all the same. You can use any.